You see the title of the screen. We're going to be talking about this Little Mermaid quote unquote controversy. And before I start this video, it's going. I want to just say the Little Mermaid controversy. It's really just a continuation of this toxic back and forth race conversation with so-called black people and Caucasians, and so-called black people, not to not to be mean or anything, but they just like to play the violin that, hey, we can't have anything. It's like, we want to be represented. And I understand representation is important in regards to letting younger people understand that, you could be something great in the world, but we understand this is the Little Mermaid, it's a cartoon. And, really Disney in itself is just about promoting witchcraft, especially to the so-called black woman. Disney in itself is just really about normalizing witchcraft and normalizing demonic entities to children. They take these pagan mythological gods and they package them in a cartoon friendly way, so you can be more accepting of them. But we'll get into that later. First, I want to talk about this, and then yeah, I'm gonna let them talk and I'm gonna chime in.
Wish I could be. The new trailer for The Little Mermaid is generating extraordinary reaction, especially among black girls. She's black! Oh, there's a black mermaid! She's like me! Many of them are mesmerized watching a cherished fairy tale character who looks just like them.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. That's cool having a so-called black, woman that looks like you in a cartoon. But we got to teach our children that, that's not something that you want to aspire for. For these cartoons, really these demonic entities. They try to package these, these entities into something that's more friendly related, so the children can be want to be it. That's why on Halloween they always try to get your children to dress like the cartoon character, not realizing that the cartoon character comes from a spiritual entity. Like Little Mermaid, Ariel, her father is named King Triton. King Triton is the son of Poseidon. Poseidon is the quote unquote god of the seas. He was in Greek mythology. You know, um, he in the ancient Semitic cultures he was called Dagon. Half man, half fish. You read about that. I believe that's in First Samuel, about the fifth chapter. Um, or so, yeah, man. It's either First Samuel or Second Samuel, the fifth chapter. I know it's the fifth chapter. But yeah, man, that's how they get our children to want to be a part of this culture. Really, it's about culture, man. It's this is the Little Mermaid. Is the Philistines' culture. The Philistines, they were great mariners. They were great sailors. So they had their god was the god of the waters where they used to sail. They used to pray to that god, that entity, a half man, half fish. That's Dagon. So I'm gonna let them keep talking.
22-year-old actress Halle Bailey stars as Ariel in Disney's new live-action film, and she looks nothing like the animated Little Mermaid with red hair from the original 1989 classic. Wish I could be part of that world. Parents have been posting these charming videos to social media, many saying how important it is that their daughters see themselves reflected on the big screen.
No, it's more important that our daughters, our so-called black girls, see themselves as valuable. And the first thing you teach them that is that they're not black, that they're special. They're not black. They actually are a real person that has thoughts and feelings and emotions. They don't have to always be strong and independent, that they're part of a family. That's how you teach the daughter value rather than showing them a picture of a, so-called black mermaid. But that's the thing with our people. We like gestures, man. We don't really like real things.
An extraordinary 104 million people have viewed the sneak peek. But apparently, not everyone is happy to see a black Little Mermaid. Hard to believe, but the trailer has received more than 1.5 million dislikes on YouTube. Then there are the ugly, The Little Mermaid is white, not black. What people have to understand is that this is a beautiful opportunity for young people to see themselves in a situation and in a way in which they have not before. Halle Bailey says she's not focusing on the hate. I'm so grateful for what it will do for all the other little black and brown boys and girls who will see themselves in me.
Yeah, and that's the problem. That's why I said they prop up these characters to make you think that they're actually trying to do something positive. With this character Haley Berry, whatever her name is, Chloe Bailey, or Haley Bailey. She she's saying that she wants little black boys and black girls to see themselves in me. She wants you to see yourself as a quote unquote mermaid, as a quote unquote venerator of Dagon. They want you to participate this, and this is the reason why, man. People, because people might think like, bro, what's the big deal? It's just a cartoon. It's not that serious. Why are you talking about it in such a negative way? Let me just say this: the powers that be, they understand the prophecies of the Bible, and they understand that they're being fulfilled, and they understand the results of these prophecies that will be upon them and upon our people. So they have to surreptitiously make us forsake the Bible and to accept these fake gods and these fake religions. And it starts in the mind of the children with games and cartoons.
She's brown. And all she has to do is look at the excitement of the little girls embracing her. She's black.
Oh man, I pray for those little girls. I hope they have a real strong father with wisdom in their life to help guide them. All right, man. Peace. All right. So this is a continuation of the video I talked about with the Little Mermaid. We're gonna get into the spiritual origins of the Little Mermaid, and not in too depth, but as you know, if you've been on my channel, I like to go into the reasons why things are the way they are, why we worship the things that we worship, and really why they present certain images to us. And this is about the Little Mermaid. So we see right here, this is the father of Ariel, the Little Mermaid, King Triton, and of course he carries the trident. So King Triton is a major character from Disney's 28th full-length animated feature film, The Little Mermaid, and a supporting character in the sequels. His character is somewhat similar to the Greek mythology sea god Poseidon. Is not somewhat similar; he's actually the son of Poseidon. But the reason why they say that is so that you, as the viewer, you don't think like, oh, I'm actually having my children, watch a story about a Greek god, and I'm a, quote unquote Christian, or have a Christian household. I don't want to bring that to my family. So they understand that in the so-called American household that they may grow up in a certain religious structure, so they have to kind of mythologize. They have to really mythologize or make mythologize the mythos. Like they actually make a cartoon of the cartoon. So it's like these Greek gods, they make them into something that's very friendly, family friendly. So like King Triton, you see him with that long beard and just kind of happy but also stern, a personality. He's like your grandfather. They really try to make him more human. But let me show you a picture. This is the real Greek mythology version of that character. So this is him in ancient times. As you see, he doesn't look as friendly as they try to portray him as. He's, looks very more demonic. So, Triton, the Greek god of the sea, the son of Poseidon, and Aphrodite, god and goddesses of the sea, respectively. Triton lived with his parents in a golden palace at the bottom of the sea. Hmm. Sounds familiar, right? Later, he was often depicted as having a conch shell he would blow like a trumpet. As you see, he has, children, siblings. We don't have to get into that, but I just wanted to show this picture because they show these Greek gods just in a cartoon version so that you would be more, likely to accept them, your children specifically. But this was one of the Greek gods. He's also, called different things in different cultures, but the one culture that I'm going to talk about is the Philistines, because the Philistines, they were mariners, they were sea people. They would pray to the god of the seas before their voyage for a safe trip, and this was one of them. And he would help guarantee that they will have a safe travel. I know. And of course, you see he carries the trident. The trident was that pitchfork like figure. That was a variation of the pagan cross. All these symbols have, you know, myth. They have spiritual underpinnings. But let's keep going. This is Dagon. This is the god of the Philistines. He was always depicted as having hands as a man and a head as a man and a tail like a fish, half man, half fish. So, like I say, he was the god of the Philistines. He was not the god of the Israelites. He was not venerated by the Israelites. Disney creates these movies so that you can recognize and you can sympathize and you can have some type of affinity with this demonic entity. And they try to encourage your children to be like them, especially on Halloween, to dress like them, so that they can be more familiar with them when they, plan to reveal who they really worship in this society. When this, as we come to the end, and then going back to that picture, you see he has the horns, because that's who they worship behind the scenes. They worship this horn entity, this horn god, as the Bible called him, Baal or Molech. But Dagon, he was the god of the Philistines. He would, be someone that was very important for sailors to worship and to get them to feel some sense of safety as they travel in the water. And if you know the origins of the Kemetic or Egyptian religion, Osiris or Asar, he was killed by his brother Set, and his body was dismembered, and one of his body parts was his penis that dropped into the water, into the ocean, and it was swallowed by a fish. And the myth says that the fish, um, in the Osiris was reborn half man, half fish, and that's where we get the origin of Dagon. Of course, this is just one variation of that, but he's one of the most popular, and you read about that in First Samuel chapter 5. They're just about Dagon. But going back to that story of Osiris, that's why all Disney movies they retell these stories. It's like Harry Potter and Voldemort. His body parts were dismembered and like I think like 7 parts were were put in hidden in different parts of the country. That was the story of Osiris, and Osiris was killed by his brother Set, and then his son came to avenge him. We call Haru or Horus. That eye that people always put, the eye of Horus. That's the story of the Lion King. Disney always retells these demonic stories so that your children and you can be more familiar with them, and you can surreptitiously get them to worship them. Like I said, they understand what's coming down the road. They need you to have more of a close affinity to the Greek mythos or to the Babylonian Kemetic mystery religion rather than the Bible. They need that because they understand the prophecies that are going to befall on the people, on the people of truth and the people of dishonor. So that's what Disney's about. And when I used to always wonder too about Disney always have their films in the beginning of the film. Someone had to die, whether it be a parent or a close family member. I read about Walt Disney. He grew up without his mother, and he would put that in his film. But as I got older and read about the MK Ultra programming and the trauma that they induce on the children, and how they make these MK Monarch children and the affiliates of Disney, they use these traumas, especially behind closed doors, to inflict on the children, whether it be sexual abuse or emotional and physical abuse. But they do that to create these MK Ultra children. You see that, and that as they get older, they break down. You see that with like Britney Spears. You see that with that guy from That's So Raven show. His name Orlando Brown. But yeah, this is how they get you to, they do this to children behind closed scenes. These movies are just a retelling of what they do to the children, especially with the trauma. Everything I said is alleged, by the way. It's just my opinion. Just everything's alleged. But if you knew what Disney did behind closed scenes to children, you wouldn't want to support them. And you see that with the Florida's Don't Say Gay bill. Florida had a bill where they didn't want their children to be taught about sex before the grade school of fifth grade. And Disney, they weren't supporting of that. They they wanted the children to be taught about sex. before fifth grade, which tells you everything that you want to know about Disney. But that's what I'm just saying. You can't avoid these movies. Children are gonna want to watch them and stuff like that. I'm sure we've all watched Disney films, but at the same time, you gotta teach your children that it's not real. You gotta teach them what their real culture is and what their culture is not, and so they can aspire and learn to avoid certain things in life. All right, so that's all I got, man. All right, peace.